What's up guys, it's Rob, and today we're going to be looking at the Logitech G Pro X Superlight. I've been ready to record this video for about a week now, but I wanted to get the XM1R review out first. So now we're doing this. I finished testing this about a week ago, so I've had all the info of this mouse in my mouse review sheet. Link to that is in the description. Please go check it out. I add every single mouse I review to that sheet. I will also be adding gameplay at the end of this video with this mouse, clips I've gotten while playing with the mouse. So yeah, here we go. So the Logitech G Pro Superlight comes in at $150, which is on the higher end of most mice, of course. It is the exact same shape as the G Pro Wireless, and on my scale, this mouse comes in at 61 grams, and that is with the puck, and without the puck, the mouse comes in at 60 grams. One major difference from the G Pro Wireless to the G Pro Superlight is that the buttons, or the ability to add buttons to the right side of the mouse, is gone, so left-hand compatibility is no more, and the charging slot for the mouse still remains the same. It is still micro USB. It also does have software where you can change the DPI of the mouse, but not the liftoff distance. The liftoff distance is default set to low, and of course it cannot be changed. And the sensor of the mouse is the Hero 25K sensor, where you can go up to 25,000 DPI, which I really don't think is needed, but some people might use it. And the battery life of this mouse is amazing. They say it's around 70 hours, but it honestly feels like more. At the end of the week of me using this mouse, I didn't really have to charge it. So yeah, like I said before, the shape of this mouse is just like the G Pro Wireless. I can palm the mouse, claw it, and fingertip it, all comfortably at my hand size. Claw grip is my main grip style when using any mouse, and it is comfortable for that. You really shouldn't have an issue choosing which grip style to use. The shape is great for being able to use any grip style. But if you do have bigger hands, you might have some trouble palming the mouse, but at my hand size, I don't really have trouble palming the mouse. I can barely do it, but if my hands were any bigger, I wouldn't be able to. But yeah, just keep in mind, if you do have smaller hands, you will be able to palm grip this mouse comfortably. But yeah, I really had no issues with the shape of the mouse, and at my hand size it was great. And here, just for comparison, you can see the G Pro Wireless and the G Pro Superlight. They are pretty much the exact same shape. So yeah, my hand length comes out to 17.5 centimeters long, and the width of my hand is around 9.5 centimeters wide. One of the more major differences from the G Pro Wireless to the G Pro Superlight is the coating. The coating is kind of rubberized. It feels very grippy, and it is also great for people who have sweaty hands. The G Pro Wireless was horrible for me because I have very sweaty hands, and it would slip a lot when I would start to get sweaty, and that really sucked. But it doesn't happen at all with the G Pro Superlight because of the nice rubberized coating that they included. So that is definitely an upgrade from the G Pro Wireless. And yeah, just the coating feels very grippy, it feels great on the hand, and I didn't have any other issues with the coating or anything like that. The mouse does come with some mouse grips, but I didn't really try them because the coating itself on the mouse is already great, so there's really no point in using them. So now for the mouse feet, they kind of feel like they have average glide, but there's really nothing special about them, but they're not bad either. I still get a smooth glide, and there's no scratchiness or anything like that, but they kind of look like they will be better than the normal G Pro Wireless mouse skates, but they're kind of the same. I do have my G Pro Wireless here, and I have the stock mouse skates, and they both glide around the same amount. There's like no difference really when it comes to glide when it comes to both of these mice. It's really weird because I've heard people say that the Superlight has better skates than the stock G Pro Wireless, but I'm just not getting that. I did try both of these mice on my Asus ROG Scabbard mousepad, which is a much faster mousepad than my Hein, and I did get better glide on my Superlight compared to what I am getting on this mousepad. So maybe it is dependent on the surface you are using it on, but like I said, I've seen other people get better glide on their Hein, so I'm not really sure what it might be. Maybe some people are just getting better skates than others, who knows, but it just kind of feels the same when it comes to glide. But yeah, like I said before, I still didn't have any issues with the mouse feet, no scratchiness or anything like that, so you should be fine. So now for mouse 1 or mouse 2, there's no post or pre-travel when pressing down on both. Also, I get no side play when using the mouse in game. I do get side play when trying to intentionally cause it with both of my hands like this. So yeah, I didn't have any issues with mouse 1 or mouse 2 in that aspect. And in terms of the click, it kind of just feels the same as the original G Pro Wireless. There is a slight hollow feeling and sound of the click when pressing down on the Superlight clicks compared to the G Pro Wireless. Here's a comparison of both Mouse 1 and Mouse 2. G Pro Wireless having the Omron 50Ms and the G Pro Superlight having the Omron 20Ms. There isn't much of a difference in terms of how it feels when you're actually using the mouse and pressing down on Mouse 1 or Mouse 2. The only difference really is that slight hollow feeling you get when pressing down on the Superlight Mouse 1 or Mouse 2. But it really isn't all that big of a deal, and I really had no issues with Mouse 1 or Mouse 2. They still feel nice and clicky, so no problems there. Also, I haven't seen any other reports of people having the double click issue that happens on the G Pro Wireless, so that is of course a big plus. So just like on the G Pro Wireless, Mouse 1 and Mouse 2 are on the sensitive side when it comes to actuation force when pressing down on Mouse 1 or Mouse 2, and I didn't accidentally press down on either of them when playing in game, so no issues there. And yeah, very solid Mouse 1 and Mouse 2 for the Superlight. So now for the side buttons. The side buttons on the Superlight are pretty bad, and I'd actually say they might be worse than on the G Pro Wireless. They feel very mushy when pressing down on them. They are a good size. They do have a nice click, but they have a ton of post travel, and most of the post travel comes from this side button right here, more towards the back of the mouse. If you press down on it and actuate it, you can go even further, and it goes super far into the mouse. I don't know if you can tell, but it goes really far in there, and it just feels very mushy, and the side buttons really aren't all that great. When I get my G Pro Wireless and I actuate the same side button, it stops right there after I actuate it, and it gets no more post travel after that. It's like it has a limit as to how far it can go in, when on the Superlight it doesn't really have a limit. You could just keep pushing it in, and then once it's already all in there, that's when it stops. But really poor side buttons, unfortunately. I'd say they're kind of the same as the G Pro Wireless, if not worse. So now for the scroll wheel. The scroll wheel is very solid. It feels great when scrolling up or scrolling down. Also when pressing down on middle mouse button. Seems to require average actuation force when pressing down on middle mouse button, and I never accidentally press down on it when scrolling up or scrolling down. Seems to have the exact same scroll wheel as the original G Pro Wireless, so it's pretty solid, and I really had no complaints with it. So now for the build quality. The build quality of this mouse is amazing. I get no creaking or rattling or anything like that. When I stress test the mouse, I get no flex anywhere on the mouse except for the bottom of it, but it's extremely minimal and it doesn't really matter. The mouse feels of very high quality and it feels very solid. For 61 grams, it's pretty amazing. So now, would I recommend this mouse even though it's $150? Yes, I would. If you do not have a G Pro Wireless, I would definitely recommend this mouse. It is extremely solid and it has a very long battery life. It is a very solid build quality. The only main issue I would find with the mouse are the side buttons. They feel very mushy and they have a lot of post travel, but still it really isn't enough to stay away from the mouse. At $150, sure, I would expect to have better side buttons, but it really isn't a major issue because all of the other features of the mouse are of high quality. And now, would I recommend this mouse if you already have a G Pro Wireless? Yes and no. The only differences you're really getting are the 20-gram weight reduction and the coating of the mouse. The battery life on the mouse might feel a little bit better, but everything else kind of just feels the same. So I would definitely say that from the G Pro Wireless, you are getting an upgrade with the G Pro Superlight, but it's really up to you whether or not to determine the upgrade is worth $150. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be putting gameplay here at the end of the video of clips I got while using this mouse. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
My heroin.
I have to take 2 airplanes to get there. I waited for you.
Hey, does anybody want to help?
Woo!
No.
First place gets 45 grand.
Superlight, dude.